What's up, guys? Max Finn here. Welcome to this week's Fire or Fail. If you don't know what this show's all about, go back and watch the last few episodes. At a high level, essentially what I do every week is look at the top ad section on TikTok, watch some of the ads, and say whether, hey, this is a fire ad, whether this is a fail ad, and then break down why specifically this ad's good, why this ad's bad. Not every ad is going to have all good elements. There might be some great ads that have some bad things that I would fix, and likewise, there might be some bad ads that actually have some good elements. So that's what we do every week here. And actually, I did this for a little bit, stopped. People kind of wanted me to do more, so we rebooted them last week. So I have a lot of fun doing this. I'm going to keep doing it every week until you guys basically say, stop doing it. I don't like it anymore. As always, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think of these videos. Make sure to subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of my future Fire or Fail episodes. And without further ado, let's dive in. Let's hit that share screen over here. And by the way, got a new setup here. I'm upstairs. We kind of relocated my office upstairs. So if you notice the background looks a little different, this is the new background. Still got some new things going on here. I'm going to set up a little set over here as well. So we'll have some changing in scenery, but you guys really don't care about that, do you? So let's dive in here. By the way, I just did a focus shot. Brand we've worked with in the past. So if I have a little more energy than usual, it's kicking in right now. So we're going to get laser focused on this episode. So let's dive in. We are here in TikTok's top ad section. I know some of you guys last week said, hey, you're looking not just at conversion ads. And that is true. I'd like to mix it up sometimes because a lot of the big brands, especially, they're running alternative objectives. So I think it's good to get different perspective than just pure conversion ads. But I know you guys like looking at just the direct response conversion stuff. That's my world too. So we're going to look this week just at conversions last 7 days. And let's start with what the number one ad is this week. Let's open it up. Let's check it out. This is also why I, if you didn't see last week's episode where I kind of gave the reasoning behind why I say top ads in air quotes, it's stuff like this that always makes me question why TikTok decides what a top ad really is. Now, obviously, this ad has a lot of spend behind it. Obviously, this ad probably has run for a little bit, just based on the fact that it has almost, over 5,000 likes, 301 shares. It's got a lot of positive metrics here. So this is actually, they've been rolling out, this is some new stuff actually. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing some of this. That's why I'm kind of not talking, is a deeper breakdown on click-through rate, conversion rate, clicks, total conversions, I guess this is what it is. And then the remain rate, number of users still watching at that second. So value of 100 is the peak for the video. So just to be clear, this doesn't mean that there's a 100% click-through rate. Essentially what this means is that this is the point where most people are clicking, or has the highest click-through rate essentially in the video. Same thing with the conversion rate, total clicks, all that good stuff, which again makes sense based on this video. And then it's giving a ranking. It's top 1% of the industry average, top 29%, top 1% remain rate. So yeah, it's in the top comparatively for a lot of these metrics. Now, okay, so that's just this little new metric bar down here. But let's go back to the actual video there. So what it does have going for it, I'll give it the positives first, and then we'll dive into the negatives. So it's short, which I think is good. I talked about, not being too long, being short and sweet to the point, keep people's attention. So it's 8 seconds, which is good. It's, using quick cuts, which is also good. So it's not saying on a single shot too long. It's got text popping up on the screen, which is good as well. But it's also just like, so that's the good stuff. Now for the bad stuff, it really doesn't have a good opening hook. And if you guys watch my past episodes, I really harp on, you need a good opening hook. you need a good opening hook kind of motion, so intro motions, and you need good opening text overlay. So those kind of three elements where you're opening a video are really, really important. So the audible hook, what's spoken, what's heard, the visual kind of hook, the visual motion, and then the visual text hook. Those are all really important elements to a good TikTok ad. So what it does have going for it in that initial part is like, visually it is kind of interesting, right? You see somebody getting stuff drawn on their face. But in terms of there's nothing being said, so there's no kind of audible hook being spoken. No more embarrassing stray hairs, I guess is, I give that kind of like a decent text overlay hook. In terms of placement though of the text, I don't like it being placed this low in the video. If I were them, I'd put it much higher. I'd probably put it up here, so it's not blocking the face, but still visually kind of centered in the screen. But then it goes like right into what I don't like about this is it really doesn't explain like the USPs. There's no real pitch. Like there's nothing about this, like what's unique about this, what's special about this, what even, obviously it's laser hair removal, which you kind of get it, right? It's obvious, but like get 80% off at Ideal Image. And I actually know the founders of Ideal Image, which is pretty interesting. Maybe I'll reach out to the guy, but I'm not a fan of leading with discounts. I think it dilutes the value of your brand. If basically your whole pitch is get our thing for cheap, and you're not even pitching like what makes your thing unique, what's special, why is it better than the competition, why do people love it, it's using social proof, like all these other elements you could use. If right out of the gate you're going 80% off laser hair removal, sure, you'll get some people that are just like deal seekers, like, hey, I've been in the market for hair removal and this is the lowest price, I'm going to go for it. You're going to get some people, right? But usually those people aren't the best customer. The LTV isn't the highest. The word of mouth is the highest. You're not getting all those additional benefits of getting high quality customers, which I'm a big, big believer in LTV and repeat customer rate. And that's how you really scale a business. So yeah, I don't like the angle of the ad. I don't like the pitch of the ad. It doesn't really make for a compelling ad. And then let's see, just from an ending, and I went full screen there. I apologize. Yeah. So it's really just a basic ad. So I'm torn on this one. It's kind of, I gave this like a 50-50. It's a toss up. So we'll say this is like a lukewarm fire. Like this is maybe got some embers going, but at any moment could be snuffed out. Well, we'll be generous because I know the guys that run the company there. So let's go to, I think this is another one from them, from a competitor there, it looks like. Let's go over to, I don't like watching Hulu or any of the big brands because I don't think they do a great job in general. Let's look at this one right here. Okay. It's about damn time. Let me just go back to that. I want to read that opening text. When I think that a personal trainer is too expensive, but then I receive the Beyond Body book. It's about damn time. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
Okay, so here's the recipe we're gonna be making today. So like I said, this is all tailored to me and like the preferences I put in. Super easy to make. I didn't have to think about what I was gonna eat. I didn't have to think about like sizing because it is all written down. Love this book. It makes it super easy to stay healthy and stay on track with your eating.
Okay. So, we'll start with the negatives, right? So do not use commercial music. Again, I can't believe I have to keep saying, I can't believe how many brands continue just using commercial music in their ads. TikTok is just not doing a great job enforcing it, it seems like, because there's just way too many people still using like basically like very famous songs and music in their ads, which you can't do, right? And TikTok makes you check a box saying you're not using commercial music in your, like, there's so many things you go through to make sure you're not doing it. People are just ignoring it or don't know. So that's my kind of first ding on the ad is that, again, another brand leading with discounts, not now it's 6% off, right? Again, just like, don't lead with discounts. I think it's just a terrible marketing strategy. It's not, you're not getting the right customer. We already went through this. I'm not going to go back down the path. Watch the last clip if you already skipped to this clip. So I'm not a fan of that. I think it's too long. I think they could have gotten the message across here way quicker, probably in half the time. This probably a 20-second ad, if done more efficiently. It kind of just drags on and repeats the point multiple times. And then I really don't like this last part. So they basically add an extra 10 seconds to the ad with these little images and testimonials, which just like everyone complimenting my new look after I used the Beyond book. Like they're just kind of like very generic, taught me how to build healthy habits without torturing myself. Like they're not like great, like very personalized testimonials either. They're like one sentence. So it's not adding a lot of value. And frankly, I think this is how I view it. And I'm sure other people are going to think this way if I think this way. Like these almost don't look like real people. Like it's like they take like the 3 like beach shots. Like, I don't know. I think if you're trying to go after a certain demographic of person to lose weight, right? Like the last thing you want to do, I think there's this belief that you should show like really aspirational stuff. Like, and this has been the belief with, in my business, like the info product, the biz ops space for a long time, where it's like, hey, you show the Lamborghinis, show the cars, show that stuff, and you get people to want to buy. And that again, let's go back to the discount model. It works for a percent of people, but the vast majority of people, if they view the gap as too big, meaning I am here and this is what you're saying I can get to, they're not going to believe it. They think the path is too long, the bridge is too long, and it's not possible. Right? So if you're somebody making $40,000 a year and you see an ad of all these people saying, hey, you can drive, a Rolls Royce Kona and you can Richard Mille watch and you have all these things if you just do this. The believability just isn't there. Same thing with weight loss. If you're, 300 pounds and all these people are showing it's like 90-pound people on the beach, perfect looking, like it's not, going to get a lot of people. So if you show a more realistic thing, if you show people that are that look more normal, that don't look like they've lost all the weight, that they're 2% body fat, right? But it's like they've lost a lot of weight and they look decent. Like the believability seems higher and people are more likely to try it because it feels like I can actually achieve that, right? It feels more realistic, more doable. So I don't like, just from a marketing angle, I don't like what's being done here. I don't think it's that effective. And then from a TikTok perspective specifically, just using kind of slideshow images, like why wouldn't you just, if you've already kind of done a decent job, and I'm going to get into the good stuff in just a second that they've done well, but like if you're going to do a lot of the other stuff right in terms of how you shot it, why wouldn't you just add like somebody actually saying a testimonial? Why wouldn't you add like a TikTok style video to the end of it if you're actually going to go through the effort of having kind of testimonials incorporated? You did such a good job of making the ad feel native, and then you kind of add this at the end, and then it just feels incredibly non-native. So they kind of sabotage themselves at the end, which is one of the most important parts, right? So you've done all the work. Now you got to get them off site. And instead of like having a strong call to action, you just have 10 seconds of little testimonials. Again, not going to harp on it. I just think it's really, really bad that they added that there. So let's talk about the good stuff, because there are some good things that they're doing in this ad. So the first part is, again, I like that they're using the native TikTok font, outlined font. It looks really, this part, like if I was scrolling through TikTok, this would feel like a TikTok, like the way the visual, the quality, everything about it. So that's really good. The wording of this text overlay also feels very native, because it's kind of how people write on TikTok when they're doing videos. So like when I think that a personal trainer is too expensive, but then I received the Beyond Body book, like that is spot on. That's something I could imagine seeing that on a trend. So that's really good. And then that cut right there, also very, very good, cutting to the book, which I also really like. Probably stayed a little too long on that cut. Probably would have cut 2 seconds earlier on that, because I think that's a little long. They needed on the book. I would have cut to the book, text overlay, and then like within 2 seconds cut to this. What I also like they're doing this, I talk all the time about this, modular creative. So what they're doing here is really great, which is they had a hook, an intro that was shot separately, and then they have this core ad. And so they're probably, what they're doing, which I teach all the time, is they're swapping out these intros with the core ads, so they're not having to reinvent the wheel every time, which is great. So really, really big fan of that. Also a big fan of changing perspective. So going from a shot of the person, direct to camera, to a POV. So perspective changes, really, really like that. So that's great there. Let me close this so we're not getting the dings. Okay.
So here's the recipe we're going to be making today. So like I said, this is all tailored to.
So this is where it does kind of lose me a little bit is and again, I know it's going positive, and this is positive. I do like this POV. I like the books. I like the cuts here. I like the snapping. I like the cooking. I like
Super easy.
all of that. I think they're doing a great job with the visuals here, the cuts. The thing I don't, and again, I talked about how this needs to be shorter and everything, but where it kind of loses me again is if you're going to go the modular approach, it still needs to be congruent. Meaning, like when you watch this, it goes from kind of very upbeat, fun transition, kind of dancing, everything, right? And then it just kind of instantly dies, and it's very jarring. It goes from like fun, dancing, upbeat to somebody just speaking, cutting a lemon, and looking at a cooking book. I think they could have done a better job of keeping kind of the up-tempo background music or some other elements, so it doesn't feel as jarring there. Because again, it does feel like not congruent at all. So that would be something I would change as well. But other than that, I think I would give this a fire. I know there's some things I really harped on negatively, but I think overall the core of the ad is really solid. They're doing a lot of things right there. Okay, let's look at
this crypto cleanse.
I think this is Dr. Squatch. So this should be a good one. They always do very, very well.
This crypto cleanse. Oh my God.
Oh, wow. The hype is real. I had no idea a soap could be this intoxicating. It smells like a hot guy. And it has all natural ingredients. Lemon, banana, eucalyptus. None of this sounds like it would be coming out of a science project. Oh my gosh, it smells like a hot guy. You're gonna need to get this before it sells out because it's gonna go fast.
Well, that is disappointing. It could be just I have very high standards for Dr. Squatch because they do such a great job with their creative. This is probably the first Dr. Squatch ad I'm gonna have to watch. I'm actually gonna give it a fail. I think give this a fail right out of the gate. So we'll start with what it's doing right. We'll start with the positive here instead of usually start with the negative. So it feels pretty native, right? It's kind of creator style in a bathroom, not super high quality.
This crypto.
I like this, it's got the, text overlay, got some emojis in it. So it's fun. Usually I like the headline to be a little more kind of descriptive and like really like open curiosity, like really make things kind of entice me and get me engaged to watch more. This actually kind of does accomplish that by being very vague. So just like so hot, like it does have a similar effect. So I'm okay with that.
So cleanse.
And then again, it's got quick cuts in the beginning and then it cuts to her,
wow.
which is good. Again, this is doing the kind of modular approach we talked about, which is also good, where you have a separate intro. And then obviously this is kind of a core ad right here that they're using, that they're just cycling in different intros, which is also good.
Eucalyptus project.
So that's the good stuff. The bad stuff is just, it's boring, right? Which is unusual for Dr. Squatch. Like this girl just keeps saying the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, smells like a hot guy. She says like multiple times, and it's like not really saying anything. It'd be one thing if like they did something where it was, what they could have done here, which would have made it a little more engaging and fun, is if when she was saying that, if all of a sudden on the screen, like a bunch of dings happened and like a bunch of dudes, like, pictures, like dreamy looking guys kind of popped up on the screen, right? Like that could have made it a little more fun and engaging. They could have done like, a Tinder play where it had like a swiping and like there were some guys popping up. Like visually, they could have made this a lot more interesting without having to change anything from like what she's saying and doing, just by throwing some like graphics and animation and stuff on the screen. But because they don't have any of that, you're basically just watching her for like 23 seconds, which feels like an eternity in the bathroom, like doing nothing. She's just kind of standing there with the soap, sniffing it and repeating the same lines. So really not a fan of the actual core ad itself. Doesn't do a great job of selling on the product. So yeah, just not a fan overall. And also I think they could have used the text, the subtitles and the captions, they could have made like much bolder, more like I don't like they used the default kind of native ones and they placed them up here, which is interesting. So not a fan. Sorry, Dr. Squatch, you get a fail there. Let's go down to let's see. Here's a sports and fitness. We'll try this one. And then we'll look at, I think we looked at, this is our fourth one, so we'll do two more after this. Okay. So clearly this is promoting some type of VR batting practice. And so it kind of gets to that point in the beginning. So positively, this kind of opening text overlay where 6,000 pitches seen in 3 days. I think it's decent text. It's visually engaging out of the gate because it's, some kid wearing VR glasses with a baseball bat in a cage, which is like if you're scrolling through and you're interested in baseball, like that's going to grab your attention probably. So it does a good job there. It's short. It's 14 seconds, which I like. It cuts. So it has lots of cuts. It doesn't say fix on any one person too long, which is good. Now, so those are the good things. For the bad things, one is like it doesn't it does cut, right? So it's cutting between people, but it's like the same thing. So it's repeating the same visual over and over again. So it's just somebody swinging, and that gets boring pretty quickly. If I was doing this out, what I would have done is there's a few things I could have done here. One is like cut in like real world videos of like just people like dropping bombs, like so showing this kid swinging and then like cutting to like somebody hitting like a 400-foot home run, 500-foot home run, just like showing hit off the bat with a crack. Right? They could have used, and this is something I think more people need to do, is using sound effects, right? Using things like that elicit a reaction like you can't even control, right? Sound is so powerful. It triggers things in us and we're not even consciously aware of. So like for me, I'm in the e-commerce world so much. If I hear a Shopify ding anywhere in any context, it's going to grab my attention because I'm so hardwired and programmed that when I hear that sound, my brain releases dopamine. Like there's so much stuff that's been hardwired because that sound I know correlates with a sale, right? Same thing with most of us when it comes to getting a text message. When we hear the ding, getting an email, there are certain sounds that we just, our neural pathways have been like just deepened to associate certain sounds with certain things, certain actions. And those actions, we like those actions, so we release dopamine when we hear the sound, right? So for baseball players, for example, like when you hear that crack, when you hear somebody hit a ball perfectly, any baseball player, and I grew up playing baseball until college, like when they hear that, it's just like, oh, that's going yard. Like that's a bomb, right? So they could have used that sound throughout this video when people hit just to make it keep people's attention a little more and elicit more of an emotional response and a feeling. I also don't like the music they're using. The music doesn't fit the video. Like they should have used some like hip hop, some fast paced, something with like a really, really high tempo. This is almost like an emo-y type song, which doesn't fit with like training sports, right? It's not high energy. It's not getting you pumped up. So I think they missed the mark with the music. I think they missed the mark by not using sound effects, which I would have used. Again, clipping in, like splicing in footage of real baseball with this. So showing somebody swinging in there and then showing them hitting it. I think could have been good. I think they could have also done a video showing like kind of split screen or a duet type thing. Where it's showing like batting practice for the last, 80 years, batting practice in the future, and just showing like somebody actually throwing and like all the flaws that come with that, right? Like showing them, throwing a bad pitch or whatever it might be, and then showing this. I think also they could have done is like splice in actual footage from the Oculus or whatever device they're using, so to actually see what they're seeing. So it could have shown like him, getting ready and stuff, and then quick cut, or even better yet, could have shown it kind of duet style where it shows him like this, but then also on the right side shows what he's seeing. That could have been cool to see the dynamic, like what the pitcher looks like, what the ball looks like, and kind of the visual juxtaposition there. So those are a few things that I would have done there. there's a lot of ads today. They're tough. It's hard to say whether I give them a fire or a fail because they're, yeah, I wouldn't consider these like fire ads, but they're also not total fails. I'll give this like, I need to come up with a third category, which is like a okay ad. That's what I kind of give this one. Okay. So let's see. That's the fourth one we looked at. Let's look at two more today. Let's look at, um, let's do a business and economy one because this one looked really bad. So we'll have a clear fail here. It looks like. Okay. So that's our first clear fail, shit, terrible ad of the day. Whoever's running this, just please stop. Like, this is just not a TikTok ad. Like, what I don't get, and this frustrates the hell out of me. If you're going to run TikTok, put the effort. You got to know you're going to have to invest in creative, right? You're going to need somebody on camera. You're going to need creators. You're going to need just some, even at a basic level, some stuff. Like if you can't even afford to shoot a video and all you got is like these kind of slideshow text things, like just stay on Facebook, right? Stay on Facebook, stay on Google. That's for you. Native or whatever it is with an image and a text. Like this could have been done really well, even if you just use the same text. Like they could have literally just kept, because I think the text is good. Like that's a compelling thing. Hey, the IRS about to forgive hundreds of millions in past due tax debt. Like if I'm somebody that's got past due taxes, like that's going to grab my attention, right? But they could have easily just put that over as text kind of subtitles overlaid on top of, shoot somebody on an iPhone, like holding a past due notice of an IRS paper, like just crying or really emotional. Like just that, even if they're not doing anything, just that's like them in the background the whole time while the text is overlaying, just them like kind of breaking down. That would have been really compelling. They could have used all this, everything else could have been the same. You just have somebody shoot an iPhone video of somebody with a letter from the IRS just like sitting there kind of breaking down. Because that is a popular style on TikTok where it's kind of a background video of somebody who's doing something with text wall or text pop-ups, right? So they could have done that. Again, that would have required minimal effort. That would have required a few minutes total of effort. And it would have made this ad 100 times better and probably 100 times more effective and impactful. But because they literally just, didn't want to shoot any video, they have this terrible ad. I'd imagine their CPMs are probably off the chart, and maybe it's profitable because it's just like what they're getting paid out if it's an affiliate or something like that for some type of debt relief is probably so high that they can like afford to pay ridiculous CPCs. So they get lazy, and that's what happens to a lot of these types of advertisers is like their payouts are so high for some of these offers that you can pay ridiculous CPCs, ridiculous CPMs, and still make money. So there's no incentive for them to really like go crazy on the creative, but yeah, there's a lot they could do to improve that, even just at a basic level. Okay, let's look at one more. Let's do one more ad today. Let's see if we can find a good one. Let's do, there's office equipment. There's men's clothing. Trying to find one that we haven't looked at yet. Let's do some furniture. Let's try this out. Okay.
8,760 hours to try the deepest sleep. I love my Nectar. Mattresses start at $399, so easy to unbox. You get to $100 off and $499 of accessories. You don't want to miss their special offer. This is the best mattress deal on the market. Run, don't walk to buy this mattress.
Okay, so overall, I think I give this, again, I wouldn't call it fire, but we'll call it fire because I haven't come up with that third category. This is a solid ad. Nectar, they do a lot of creative. They do a lot of stuff on TikTok. So they're kind of like Dr. Squatch. They're running a lot of creative. I see a lot of their ads. So they get it, right? So again, short and sweet, under 30 seconds, which I like.
8,000.
Good text overlay. I think it's interesting throwing out like a very specific number, 8,760 hours to try the deepest sleep. I'd imagine that's their like 3-month policy. I think they have like a 1 month or 3 month or whatever that policy is that all the mattress companies have. So that's solid. It's got the text overlay. It's got the opening hook. Visually, it's cool. I think showing the mattress unfolding and inflating is a good intro motion. quick cuts going to the box, showing them kind of quickly assembling it, showing the ease of use. All that stuff is really good. Hitting on some of the bonuses they get is good. I think the, kind of where it could improve, I like that kind of showing the kids jumping on it and being comfortable. I think, again, it's a little too long. I think they kind of unnecessarily focus on just like assembling it and putting it on the bed. I think they definitely could have spent more time showing, like, that's just one part of it, right? It's like, okay, I got a mattress and it comes in a box and it's easy to get out. But like, are you buying a mattress? It's like the main reason why you're buying a mattress because it's easy to put on your bed frame, or is it because you want better sleep and you want really comfortable bed and you want all these things? I'd imagine most people it's because they want to sleep better because they need their rest, and it's rest is critical. They don't want to wake up groggy. They want to have energy for the next day. So I think they could have done a better job of showing that, of positioning it as like, hey, this is the most comfortable mattress. This mattress gives you your 8 hours. You're going to sleep like a baby. Like, they could have done a lot more to focus on the quality of the product and the benefits of the product, as opposed to spending so much time on like, the free accessories you get and the price discount you get and how easy it is to unbox and assemble. Like, that's part of it, but they could have condensed that into like a few seconds and then allocated more time to the actual USPs of the product. And then having a stronger call to action at the end. But overall, I think this is a pretty solid ad. Nectar does it. I've seen a lot of better ads from them. So they do a lot of really good stuff with their brand there. So on that note, I know we went a little over today. That's what happens when I take a focus shot before I do a video, is I just can go and go and go and go. So I'm going to zip it right now. And as always, guys, hit the subscribe button there, hit the little bell notification so you get all my videos. And I will see you on the next Fire or Fail or the next video I put out. Later, guys.